Good afternoon, everybody. It's Lillian here from the Health Center. I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy new year. And I hope for this next coming year to be full of happiness, health, and peace. I was going to actually say happy Groundhog Year, but I've decided actually that it's really not a Groundhog Year. So although things seem, that we're kind of back where we started a year ago, we actually have a lot more tools at our disposal that makes this a much better year ahead of us. So I just want you to keep your hopes alive, and life is going to get back to normal. And we're going to talk a little bit today about the Omicron virus or the Omicron variant and where we're at basically in the state of our pandemic here. So just to give you a little bit of information, as of yesterday, our case counts in the MD of Bonnyville were sitting at about 60. And then our case counts for the city of Cold Lake were sitting at about 78. Our current case count, based on our confirmed cases from our PCR testing on the reserve, are sitting at 1. But we already know that these numbers are skewed, and you've probably heard this on the news as well. Because we have introduced more tools in this pandemic, such as rapid testing, we are not catching all of the cases that are out there. And so, although the tools are really good, it's still really important, I think, for all of our band members, if you are sick and you are doing a rapid test at home, which is great, if you get that positive result, we still are asking that you come in and get a PCR test as well, because it allows us as the health professionals on the reserve to really keep our ear to the ground and to really know what's happening out there in our community. Because unless I have a confirmed PCR test, I can't document anything in regards to hearsay. I would really like to hear from those individuals. So we do have our rapid test kits available to the public. We had received just a small allotment right before Christmas, so they are available here. We have kind of reserved those for the people out there who are in households with symptomatic individuals who want to test. And for those individuals who are symptomatic, who for whatever reason can't come in and do the regular PCR test, we can absolutely send out a kit for you. But again, we really want to encourage you to please report that positive test and come in for a secondary PCR test. Our current situation here on the reserve, like I said, we have the count sitting at 1, but we know I've had reports of other households in different areas that indicate to me that those numbers are again skewed. So if you happen to be one of those households who had done a rapid test over the Christmas holidays and it came back positive, whether or not you've completed your isolation or not, can you please call and let us know? We would really like to make sure that we're accounting for those numbers here on the nation so that we have a greater, I guess, idea as to what's happening and where that transmission is occurring. And hopefully we can put some, parameters in place that can help stop that transmission. Testing guidelines here in Alberta, again, have changed a bit. Alberta Health Services is really not recommending health or PCR testing for all the general public, but I did check with our medical officer of health yesterday, and they are allowing us to continue doing that here on the reserve, just simply because we have a much different situation out here than what we might see in our big cities and towns, and that's with overcrowding in our households. And so it's still really important, if you are symptomatic, if you are contact to a positive case in your household, to please come in and get a test done. We have noticed that our testing has dropped off over the Christmas holidays, and that usually indicates to me that people aren't coming in, whether it's because of the weather, or like I said, it might be because you're using those rapid tools at home, but still, please make sure that you come in and get that done. Isolation requirements also changed over the Christmas break. So if you are fully vaccinated, and if you have a confirmed positive PCR test, then you must isolate for 5 full days from the onset of your symptoms, okay? After that 5 days, as long as all of your symptoms have disappeared, you can leave the isolation. However, you must still wear a mask for an additional 5 days whenever you're out in the public. Even within your own household, you should probably still wear that mask just to protect your own household. If you are not fully vaxxed, okay, if you do not have 2 full vaccines on board, then you are still legally obligated to quarantine for the 10 full days, okay, from your symptom onset. So I guess that's kind of where we're at with this Omicron. Um, I know it seems like we're starting back over again, I guess this year where we kind of left off last year, but I really want to remind people that we actually have a lot more tools available than what we did last year. Last year at this time, we were just starting with our vaccination program. And today we have over 74% of our community vaccinated. So we've come a long way, and a lot of those have gotten their second dose, and some of them have gotten their third dose. So I really want to remind you that our best way through this is through vaccination. And so if you haven't gotten your second dose, please call and make an appointment and get that done. If you're eligible for your third dose, so now they've changed those guidelines as well. If you are 5 months after your second dose, you are now eligible for your vaccine as long as you are over 18 years of age. Okay, so you can call and book for that as well. And we also have something called Therapeutics. So there has been some medication that has been licensed in Canada for use. And so again, that's why we're encouraging those PCR tests. If you are high risk, so if you have diabetes, heart disease, or lung disease, and you test positive for COVID, if we can catch you early enough in that first 24 hours, then there might be a possibility that we can prescribe some therapeutics to you to help you so that the viral load doesn't become so heavy or that you don't get such severe symptoms. Okay, so these are the tools that we have at our dispense. We also know the science. So science in this pandemic has shown us that just the task of physically distancing, of washing your hands frequently, especially after you've been out in the public, and using your mask goes a long way into protecting you from COVID. I do advise that you upgrade your masks. So if you're using a cloth mask right now, you should probably get rid of that cloth mask and come in and get yourself an N95 mask. I do have single packages of N95s available. I can't give out mass quantities of them, but if you want to upgrade them, absolutely. And then you can use your surgical mask on top of that N95 in order to let it go a little bit further, and that just affords you a little bit more protection. And then finally, I always want to remind people, because I still, I'm getting reports of people coming to work sick. If you are sick, you are still legally obligated to stay home. So, a lot of people say, oh, it's just a cold. Well, for some people, COVID does just feel like a cold. And for some people, it may never get any worse than that. But then there's those others in our population who are still vulnerable. And those are the ones that concern us the most. So it's still really important that we're not spreading anything through our work environments, through the school. So it's really important for you guys out there, if you are sick, whether it be a runny nose, a stuffy nose, a sore throat, a cough, a fever, stay home until your symptoms resolve. Okay? So like I said, we do have a lot more knowledge and a lot more tools at our disposal. I hope that this is COVID fizzling out and that we can get back to our normal lives again. And I hope I never have to do another one of these. But you know what? If I have to do more, I will do more. And all I ask is that you guys protect one another, and let's hope for a safe and happy new year. Thank you very much.